Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Second time in one day, I know. We're doing a different style of video, but I hope you're going to find it as interesting because I did a video earlier today. It's doing well so far and we've gained lots of subscribers, well, lots for me at least. Subscribe if you would like to, about the new FIDE rule and in terms of their rating change. I thought it was just a minor change. I didn't realize the chess world was going to absolutely lose their mind. So I've got the tweet up here. We're going to go through some of the reactions because it is extraordinary. I'm going to give you some of my thoughts as we go along. Some of people make brilliant points. Some of them are just, it's Twitter. So I thought Twitter's the best place to kind of gauge it. Obviously, you can be on Reddit forums. I'm sure Gotham Chess will make a video. Actually, let me check if he hasn't made one already. Let's see. YouTube opens up. He probably has made one, or if he hasn't, he's going to make one probably. Let's see. Nope, Road to GM is back. That's his latest video 2 hours ago. So, I have to go watch that. Yeah, we're going to have a look at Twitter because it is awesome. Okay, so here's the tweet from the International Chess Federation, the FIDE Council. It's all the stuff that was in my earlier video. The first tweet you see is from me, 5.3 reactions. It's the link to the video from today. Then the first one is David Howell. Short-sighted and flawed. Hello, rampant deflation of rating. This is one of the things I spoke about. The rating for the top players is probably going to go down because they're going to really suffer. Someone says no impact on Hikaru as his goal wasn't farming the rating points. He just needed to complete the quota of 40 games. That's still possible. This is just to avoid Hikaru crossing Magnus in the process of getting the required games, because that would be embarrassing for FIDE. Not sure about that last part in terms of protecting Magnus, because I think even if Hikaru played all the games, provided he gained only 0.8, he wouldn't have passed Magnus. But if he played a couple of high-rated players, he may have got close and or passed Magnus Carlsen. I don't think passing Magnus was their big concern, it's the farming. Now, this person makes a great point. It doesn't actually affect Hikaru. Unless he draws and loses a lot of games in his remaining 11, he will still be the second highest rated player in the world. This is more for Alireza Firouzja, actually. Surprisingly enough, it'll probably come up a bit later. In the last candidate cycle, he was competing for the rating spot. Now, he wasn't playing games to qualify for it, he needed rating. So he would play like random opens where he was playing like 1600s, 1800s, and there was a little bit sus, and there was a lot of talk about that. We've got John Hartman here. Changing the rules in the middle of the qualification cycle is a little sus. I don't disagree with that. There's an ad. This shows the big difference between what Hikaru is doing and what Alireza did. If this ruling was in place from the beginning, Alireza wouldn't play games against 1600s for the candidates, but Hikaru still would, because Hikaru doesn't need the rating, he needs the games. A big distinction. This person just wants to clarify. So how does it work if player A rated 2000 beats player B who's rated 2800? If that happens, we'll all be shocked. Does player A being below 2650 gain as if they beat a 2400? While player B loses as if they lost to a 2000. So, not a bad clarification, because that 400 point rule was always good for players in terms of the top GMs winning, and if the lower rated player loses, then they don't lose much. Actually, they probably would lose a bit more. But anyway, this makes me feel even better about what Hikaru is doing. He now risks a lot by playing lower rated opponents, as even a draw would be impactful in terms of rating impact. Against a 1950 player, the impact would be nearly 9 ELO points for a draw, so he would lose 9 points. Top dogs can't farm free ELO anymore without risking some too. Every move counts, every game matters. FIDE basically said, if you're elite, play like it. That's cool. Chess for Sharks. Brilliant tweet there. When some Indian players gained easy ELO, no one had a problem. This is one of the tweets I read just before I came on. But as soon as Nakamura started getting easy ELO in the tournaments he was obliged to play, a nerf came instantly to protect Magnus. Yet Nakamura isn't usually the type of player who enters tournaments to just farm ELO. We're going to continue through this. The Hikaru rule, they be releasing a rule to nerf Hikaru, etc., etc. All this for Hikaru not to overtake Magnus. I don't see it like that, but I do see why some people would. I'm trying to find the tweet here from Emil Shutovsky. I don't see it. So I may have to search it. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I am, of course, Trusty Matt. Or actually, I'm Matthew551021. Just search Matthew Richards. It'll probably come up. Emil Sutovsky. Because he put out a cool tweet, which I'd like to read for you. Or just bring to your attention. Just to be clear. By the way, just to be clear. The rule is not about Hikaru. It is, but anyway. He did trigger it. But when starting to dig, it turned out there were at least 5 players or more of 2650 plus ELO who in 2024-2025 regularly played events with a string of very low rated opponents, abusing the 400 points rule. It was not occasional 450 or 500 points difference, but sometimes 700 to 800 and even close to 1,000 points, and not a single game per event, but almost all of them in the event. Hundreds of events were examined, dozens of hours spent, several solutions were reviewed, and it passed through 3 different panels before getting approved. I don't think it is fair or balanced. Or he does think that. And then he replied to this tweet, that's why I thought I might find it, but obviously wasn't as liked as my tweet, which is, oh no, it was 87k. If you are a 2650 player, do prove your skill versus opponents of comparable strength. There's no more farming. Why 2650? It is a top 100 level, and these players rarely face low-rated opponents, while for example GMs with 2500 to 2650 mostly play in large opens, and they should not suffer from the new regulations. Additionally, FIDE prepared a detailed questionnaire related to ratings, after what period a player should be considered inactive, how to approach rating decay, etc. This will be sent to the top 100 and women's top 50 to have their feedback before taking the decisions on a whole range of matters. I'd like to thank FIDE QC for fruitful joint work together on the matter. Okay, now going back to what we were talking about earlier. People are talking about rating decay. Now, as a player who doesn't get to play many FIDE events, I'm worried about how they implement it because I just got a FIDE rating. And it's a good rating, 1570. You can probably find it on the FIDE website. I might make a video about it. Let me know if you'd like to see that. But it's to stop players like Magnus Carlsen who are inactive for very long stretches of time, not playing FIDE classical chess, that their rating doesn't just stay there. An example of this would be someone like Vishwanathan Anand. Now, he's an icon in chess. He really, really is. He's still like top 20 in the world. And I think if you go look at the number of classical games that he's played since 2020, probably less than 100, if not less than 50. I haven't checked myself, so I might be wrong. Since 2020, so almost 5 years, 6 years, it was 2020, 2021, etc., etc., he probably hasn't played 100 classical games. I might be wrong. I'll hold my hands up if I am wrong. But I don't think I am. He does not play that many tournaments, that many classical games at all. So why should his rating stay where it is? He's not actually that good. It should have, decreased by then. There should be some decay. There's more tweets here. You can go find it on Twitter. It's really cool. Of course, if there is similar stuff like this on Reddit, if it's worth your while, let me know in the comments. I might have a look at it. I think Twitter's always it's fun. It's fun. It's bad, but it's fun. I would stick to who you follow. That For You page is devastating. It makes me cry a little bit. But yeah. So this is kind of the online reaction. There's been so much on the For You page. I haven't seen... Has Gotham Chess tweeted about this? Has he? Let's go check the big names, right? Gotham Chess. Should be like the first one I search, right? Gotham Chess. What does he say? Nope, this was FIDE Grand Swiss. His last tweet was September 14th. Hikaru Nakamura. Let's see what Hikaru has to say about the Hikaru tweet. Nope, he put out something 4 hours ago, but it's about his stream, portfolio setup or something like that. Magnus Carlsen, has he done anything? Magnus Carlsen? World champion for Norway Chess. Something on September the 23rd. So, no, none of the, what I would class as the big names in chess. Has Fabiano Caruana said anything? He always he's a very insightful man. Not Fabrizio Romano. We're not talking about football. Fabiano Caruana. Mr. Caruana. He retweeted something, and then something else, all about whatever. And then the last man we can check out, I suppose, is Jan Nippon. His Twitter game is always good. And then Jan Niachi. Anything he said? Year after year, FIDE Chess doesn't really care about the ranking spot in Canada. So that was the last one. The last person I'll check is Anish Giri. This is basically chess's Twitter god, I suppose. His Twitter game is the best of anything. So he's pinned here. I won the thing. Aha! Oh, so he's responding to Hans Niemann. So let's check out the Niemann quote first, because Niemann always has some stuff. So he was responding to the Emil Shutovsky tweet that I showed you earlier. Chess desperately needs some form of rating decay for a multitude of reasons. One, top players can maintain their ranking with very few games per year, preventing up-and-coming players from challenging them, making it easier for them to blacklist players like myself. I'm going to just leave that there. Rating decay would challenge the anti-meteocratic invitational and round-robin system. Most events like GCT, VIKE, Norway Chess have 0 open qualifiers. Any serious sport gives fair opportunities to top events instead of using a subjective invitational system. 3. The top 2 players who wield the most influence would not benefit from any change, and I'm sure their chess mafia counterparts would do everything they could to maintain their narrative. A 40-60 per year minimum games in top tournaments, Mickey Mouse doesn't count, that all must have open qualifiers would dramatically change the chess ecosystem. I firmly believe that FIDE should mandate every event that wants to count for circuit points have at least one open qualifier. While the addition of many new events and prize money has been extremely positive for chess, the classical rating system, invitational system, desperately needs reform. Okay, that's word salad. I think I need some water. Okay, right. 40 to 60 games per year. That's 5 games per month, right? It's not a lot. It's not a lot of games. I just think of myself, right? How do you set up rating decay and only apply it to a certain section of the ELO ladder? Is one of the things the players need to talk about. Because you can give it to players, let's say, who are only GMs or prospective GMs, so IMs or something, like people rated maybe 2300 and up or 2400 and up, right? Then their rating decays. And I suppose that could work. You can't apply it to the whole ladder, because I just think of myself, right? I can't play 60 FIDE rated games a year. I can't. I'm a university student, firstly, so I'm busy 6 days a week with university and tests and practicals and stuff. My degree is academically challenging, and I am being academically challenged. So I can't play 40 to 60 games per year, so it would have to only be towards the top. He's going on about the chess mafia, whatever. I don't disagree with him that for the FIDE circuit, which is another video in itself, if they're going to count events, there should be open qualifiers. I agree with him on that one. I don't think tournaments like Tata Steel, which does technically have a qualification spot, but you had to have played the challenges section from the year prior and won it. Otherwise, everybody else is invited. Norway Chess and Grand Chess Tour, if they're going to count for the circuit, I don't think there should be invitational tournaments. If you want to say, establish like 10 tournaments for the circuit, right? Have them all be opens, and have them go to, different cities every year or something, or use existing opens that have got a decent amount of prestige that they can play. Reykjavik is a great example. Reykjavik Open in Iceland. There is an Open in India every year. There's the Qatar Open. there are all these opens that you could just count and say they're the only ones that count for the circuit, because then you would get the top players in the world playing them. And then this elo change rating really comes into effect. Now, let's talk about Anish Giri. That's how we got started on this whole tangent. If you want to read Hans Slimman's tweet again for yourself, free to do it. He's put it on Twitter. Anish Giri goes like this, right? Carlsen and Nakamura fans should also be happy about a potential rating decay rule, which is coming as per FIDE officials. These will hopefully get their heroes to compete in even more classical chess events. The idea is good. I don't think Magnus and Hikaru care. It's a sad thing to say as a chess fan. I think even if the rating decay came in, maybe Magnus cares about being number 1 in the world, but does he still think being number 1 in the world is being the number 1 classical player in the world? Or does he think it's being the esports world champion, the world rapid champion, the world blitz champion, the freestyle world chess champion? Does he need to be number 1 classical in the world when he's not even participating in the cycle? Anish Giri also blocked Mr. Dodgy. Don't know why. They're having a little beef. So ladies and gentlemen, I've spoken a lot. We've talked about a whole lot of different things. Let me know what you think in the comments. I will tell you this. I didn't expect it to be such a big thing. I saw the rule change. I was like, that's unique. That's novel. But now that I think about it, now that I see some of the reaction, I'm like, oh, okay. There's something here. There's something here. People calling it the anti-Hikaru rule, and I see it. It's triggered by Hikaru, but it's not actually hurting Hikaru, because he won't lose enough rating to lose the rating spot, and he probably won't become number 1 in the world, because they're treating the points differences as such, so he'll gain even less. So he probably won't become number 1 in the world. The rating decay is a topic of discussion for another video. It has come up briefly here, and it is looking like it's coming, so we had best be prepared for that. Thank you so much. I want to hear from you in the comments. I know not everybody comments. I know not everybody likes it. I really want to hear from you. And we get interactions, and I think it's just amazing. And there's a lot of stuff we can do and we can chat about, because the chess world is changing. The chess world is changing. And we had best be ready.